So Menace has sadly passed away, which has Goku standing there in a quiet rage. The Saiyan then acknowledges that he is not fighting alone and directs the blame onto himself for Menace's sacrifice, understanding that the angel did so not just for Goku but for the sake of the whole universe. Goku continues to swell in anger, however instead of acting on his emotions in typical Dragon Ball fashion, he inhales a breath of fresh air to calm himself down and questions why Jarko had originally joined the Galactic Patrol. The patrolman exclaimed he desires to preserve peace in the galaxy and also wear the clean uniform, which was Menace's exact reasoning too, signified by the Galactic Patrol symbol engraved on his gi. The Saiyan accepts that he bears the same responsibility, affirming that it's currently his job to stop Moro's reign of terror. The Tyrant recovers from Menace's punch, confused about where he scurried off to, but Goku reveals Menace's tragic fate, ready to finally carry out his angel friend's dying wish. The storms a second ago settled down, leaving an eerie silence, with Goku unveiling perfected Ultra Instinct. Without hesitation, the Saiyan strides towards Moro, and I kid you not, every step closer gradually heightens the fear in the goat to the point where he's begging for Goku to social distance. However, Moro fell victim to the Saiyan's clutches, and let's just say that the rest was history. Assuming it was a fluke, the Devourer charges straight at Goku for payback, but the Saiyan proceeds to parry each one of his blows without daring to glance at the perfect Cell clone. Goku then sprinkles an ounce of disrespect by pulling his arm all the way back to evade Moro's kicks. All I'm gonna say is that throughout their fight, Goku's disrespect will slowly pile up until it becomes a landfill. Anywho, Beerus notices that Goku is fine tweaking his moves to avoid becoming Flat Stanley, where the Saiyan mentions that his body is moving on its own, crushing the glimmer of hope that Moro had to land a singular attack. In response, the Tyrant screeches to reach full power, creating a smokescreen, but Goku prepares for his next move by aiming his arms forward. Moro then dashes right through the smoke to catch Goku off guard, but the Saiyan utilizes his divine arsenal by unleashing the God Bind to teach Moro musical statues, switches to one-hand mode to drift him all the way into the sky, and what he does next has to rival the similar thing he did against Frieza, cause Goku clenches his fist to max to dish out the most devious sternum check. And yes, those gusts of wind were so strong that even Beerus and Whis felt it. The Destroyer then gives his plaudits to Goku for fighting like a true deity, but tells him to finish the job so they can go feast. Moro eventually crashes back down to Earth with so much excruciating pain to the point where he can't even stand up for longer than 5 seconds. Goku questions if he now sympathizes with the very innocents he slaughtered, but Moro demands to not be treated like a uni student. That's where the Tyrant declares that the god's creations are for him to devour and powers up once more, spewing lava from the ground. Any other person would be fearing for their life, but Goku really just said, as if a baby had just spilled drink on the carpet. Moro reminds the Saiyan that the fate of the Earth lays in his hands before attempting to perform a stealth takedown. However, Goku reads right through him like a manual, causing Moro to receive the Mustafar treatment. It's even more fitting because the Tyrant had lost the same arm that Anakin did during his battle with Kenobi. Goku then zooms into Moro's abdomen, launching him into a cliff face at terminal velocity, where a boulder tumbles onto the Devourer's head, now having the nerve to plead for help. Afterwards, Goku inquires if Moro was sentenced to death, to which Jarko replies yes, and upon hearing this, the Saiyan rips off his shirt, deciding to fight as an Earthling from now on, resigning from the Galactic Patrol. Goku turns the boulder into sand, ordering Moro to get back up, but when he complies, the Saiyan leaves the scene, teleporting beside Krillin to snatch the sensu beans right off him before returning to Moro's location. Goku makes a deal saying that he'll only let the Tyrant live if he goes back to the Slammer, to which Moro latches onto, taking advantage of Goku's mercy. The Saiyan then flicks a bean to the Devourer, instructing him to chow down so that his HP is fully restored. I understand that Goku is doing this to carry out Menace's will as shown in the time chamber. However, you soon realise that there is literally no point of this scene, because as Jarko said, you can still have Moro escorted back to prison to highlight Goku's act of mercy without the need of healing him. Anywho, Moro regrows both antler and arm thanks to the bean, with Goku now expecting the tyrant to keep his end of the deal. However, Moro breaks the promise like the scum he is and tries to pierce through Goku's chest once again. But in one of the coldest moments, the Saiyan keeps still, causing Moro's arm to snap like a Toblerone. This goes to show the fruits of Goku's intense training, since honing the technique to this degree allows the body to harden automatically. In my headcanon though, I like to think that Moro was perceived as so weak that the Saiyan's body did not register the attack as an actual threat. Remember when I said the disrespect will pile up? Yeah, it gets way worse because Goku proceeds to call Moro a coward, squats to his level reverting to base, and does all that to ask him if he has ever gone to the gym. After all that, you have to agree that the Moro arc showcased UI much better than the anime Tournament of Power. Here it actually feels like a divine technique relied on a calm state, whereas Goku was raging at Jiren for his friends back in the tournament, which made it just feel like another power-up. Anyway, Moro thinks that training is only for the weak, which saddens Goku because he'd be a great sparring partner if the Devourer wasn't so evil. Jarko intervenes as the voice of reason, pushing Goku to finish him off, and this has Moro tweaking because he got violated by a tribe that only emerged recently. For the very last time, the Saiyan wants to know if the tyrant will quietly return to his cell, but before Moro could reply, he spots the severed arm that copied Menace's abilities and remains adamant on laying waste to the universe. Goku responds by powering back up to UI to fulfill Menace's wish, with Moro wondering who that angel really was, so Goku mentions that he taught him how to achieve a divine state. Moro was straight grinning at this realization, so he pulls the hand towards himself, ecstatic to now give the technique a test drive. The tyrant then completes surgery on his arm and awakens to a newfound power, confirming that he's begun his free trial for Menace's Ultra Instinct. Both fighters lunge at each other, colliding with their fists, which turns the wasteland into a war zone, leaving Goku no choice but to attract Moro away from the Earth's surface. The Devourer tries to sneak a few hits in mid-flight, however Goku is unfazed by them, continuing to blast away to avoid harming the planet. Moro literally undergoes mitosis for his clone to diverge onto a different path, and the two combatants begin soaring across the entire Earth, where the clone arrives all the way from Bangladesh to slam the Saiyan out of orbit. The Saiyan catches himself to nullify fall damage and pats the dust off before telling Moro to try a bit harder, leaving the Devourer completely fuming. Goku kicks into Moro's guard, causing the tyrant's limbs to inflate strangely, and that's when Whis clocks that his body is trying its best to contain the angelic power coursing through it. It gets so bad that Moro now looks like an overgrown Teletubby, so Goku explains that he can't just use UI when he sees fit, since Moro would need to hone his body first to do so. This now leaves two options for the tyrant: abandon Menace's powers or be destroyed by them. The Devourer tries to silence him but gets immediately swatted away, which has Moro praying for a vessel that can withstand this angelic power. Whis hears this and advises Goku to finish him this instant for safe measure, but before the Saiyan could give his goodbyes, Moro's head emerges out the ground itself, blasting Goku with his vile breath. The tyrant exclaims he's become one with the earth, and the angel informs Goku that Moro and the planet share the same fate now, where killing the Devourer means that the whole galaxy goes along with him from the angelic energy. That's when Moro starts gobbling the earth's essence and everyone living on it while surrounding Goku within the palms of his hands. With how dire the situation has become, Beerus begrudgingly offers his aid, hoping that the other destroyers don't see this. However, Whis receives a notification from the Grand Priest to arrive at the palace immediately to discuss Menace's erasure. This has Beerus pretending he couldn't care less about the planet, but we all know he's devastated that the one place with half decent food will soon become confetti. Whis levitates towards Goku to inform him that the only way to destroy Moro is to shatter the crystal on his forehead, like Menace did earlier, which should release the god power. The angel really thought we wouldn't notice this next part, because he casually blocks Moro's punch with an index finger, encouraging Goku to believe in himself before bidding the gang a farewell. The Devourer tries to turn himself into an 8th wonder of the world, concealing the crystal from view, but thankfully Vegeta arrives, peppering him with 4 spirit fission for the crystal to enlarge again. Goku then rushes in, weaving past Moro's numerous limbs to land his fist in the top corner. However, the Tyrant proceeds to make a world-class save, protecting the clean sheet, which has the Saiyan wishing for more god power. Not gonna lie, United should try to sign Moro before the transfer window ends, cause trust me, he wouldn't be making the same mistakes that Anana did against Brighton. Anywho, Jarko hears god power and flies to the lookout whilst Goku is being drained of his energy, reverting him to base. The rest of the Z fighters then arrive, where Piccolo questions if Vegeta can perform spirit fission in reverse, so the prince affirms that it's the same principle, allowing for everyone to donate their energy to Goku, including the people on the lookout and Goten and Trunks thanks to Piccolo's message. Vegeta tosses the culminated key at his Saiyan friend, causing him to successfully activate the thrusters again. However, the gifted energy was only enough for Goku to reach Super Saiyan Blue. Jarko approaches the lookout, questioning Boo's whereabouts, but no one has a slight clue, and the Z fighters have now accepted their demise because Moro's so far gone that he's really close to blowing up on his own accord. However, all hope is not lost because a massive ball of divine power makes its presence known, and it turns out that the Grand Supreme Kai was in a random village all along, helping none other than Oob to donate all this divine ki. Vegeta throws it right at Goku, which blinds the whole area, causing the formation of the Saiyan's very own ki avatar to hold Moro in place, and within its forehead Goku returns to perfected Ultra Instinct, shattering the very last crystal which disassembles Moro into numerous Lego pieces, ending the Tyrant once and for all. The Grand Supreme Kai switches back to Fat Boo with no recollection of his time as the deity, and Eska is returned home using the Namekian Dragon Balls to revive the people killed by Moro. The Galactic Patrol then hold an award ceremony for their valiant efforts, dishing out medals to Goku, Vegeta, Jarko, Boo, and even Menace. Goku now thinks he's staring at Casper the Ghost, but the patrolman explains he only had ceased to exist as an angel. Meanwhile, the Grand Priest scolds Universe 7's deities for allowing such a tragedy to happen, but informs them he had temporarily erased Menace before resurrecting him again as a mortal, meaning that he now has a lifespan and lost access to his angelic powers. Whis inquires why he felt the need to be so merciful, and his dad explains that he was moved by a certain Kai willing to sacrifice his own life for Menace's, aka Shin. However, due to their involvement, the Grand Priest had given the 3 of them a punishment: entertain the Zenos in the form of horse riding whilst giving their personal guards a 2-week holiday. And with all that, peace is held up once more in the universe, which finally concludes the best arc in Super by a country mile. Before that absolute humbling, Moro was doing the Z fighters completely dirty, so please click here if you're interested.